You are in Tokyo. It's rush hour. The station is packed. The train cars are full. But it's almost completely quiet. No one is shouting on the phone. No one is laughing loudly. You don't even hear music leaking from headphones. This silence is not an accident. In Japan, being quiet in public works like an unwritten rule. For visitors, this is often the first shock. How can so many people be this silent at the same time? In this video, we look at the hidden rules behind Japan's culture of silence. And we'll see how the idea of not disturbing others shapes everyday life. To understand silence in Japan, one word is essential: Meiwaku. Meiwaku means causing trouble for others, being a burden, disturbing someone. Japanese children grow up hearing this word. Parents and teachers repeat the same message: don't cause meiwaku to others. In other words, don't bother people. Don't put anyone in a difficult position. So for many Japanese, every action in public has a silent calculation. Could what I'm doing disturb the person next to me? Staying quiet is one of the safest choices in that calculation. Not talking loudly, not shouting, not making unnecessary noise is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of respect. Silence becomes a way to avoid stepping into someone else's space. In Japan, that idea works like an invisible law of politeness. For many visitors, the real surprise starts on Japanese trains. The car is packed. People stand shoulder to shoulder, but the sound level is close to that of a library. Here, it's not written laws, but unwritten rules that guide behavior, like not speaking loudly. Even with a friend next to you, you lower your voice. Long, loud conversations are considered rude, like not making phone calls. Announcements ask passengers to switch their phones to manner mode, the silent mode. If it's not an emergency, people simply don't call in the train. There is also a headphone etiquette. You can listen to music, but the volume must stay inside your ears. If others can hear your headphones, it's seen as impolite. In short, each passenger chooses to lower their own noise. That's how hundreds of people share the same small space in near silence. So what happens when someone breaks this rule of silence? Usually, no one shouts at them. In Japan, people tend to avoid direct confrontation. Instead, softer social signals appear. A few passengers might slowly turn and look at the noisy person. That cold glance often delivers the full message. You're expected to be quiet here. There are also posters and announcements that support this quiet atmosphere. Messages like, "Please set your phone to silent mode," or "Please keep quiet on the train," are shown and heard every day by millions of people. But the interesting part is this. Most of the time, no reminder is needed. People have already absorbed these rules. Sleeping passengers, people reading books, others just staring out the window. This calm scene on Japanese trains has become one of the country's most familiar images. Silence is not only important on trains, it appears in many parts of daily life in Japan. In crowded offices, people avoid speaking loudly. If they need to make an announcement, they don't shout across the room. They use email or a meeting room instead. The goal is clear. Don't break others' concentration. In libraries, you hear only whispers. In hospitals, even waiting rooms are calm. No one has to say, be quiet. People already know the rule. Temples and shrines are places where silence feels even deeper. In the middle of busy Tokyo, when you step into a Shinto shrine, the atmosphere changes. Voices drop. Footsteps slow down. At home and in neighborhoods, there is similar awareness. Walls can be thin, so late-night loud music or noisy parties are behaviors many people try to avoid. This doesn't mean people in Japan never make noise. Of course, they have fun. They sing, they laugh. But almost always, they adjust their behavior to the place. For example, when friends want to sing loudly, they don't usually shout at home. They go to a karaoke room. Karaoke boxes are soundproof. Almost no sound escapes outside. Inside, you can shout and sing as you like. Outside, the neighbor can keep sleeping peacefully. You see a similar idea in traffic. Car horns are used mainly in real danger. Honking just because you're impatient feels strange in Japan. The same message appears everywhere. Yes, you can enjoy yourself, but do it without breaking someone else's peace. Behind this culture of silence, there are both practical and cultural reasons. Japan is a very crowded country. Cities are dense, space is limited. When millions of people live together in small areas, noise can become exhausting very quickly. So, silence works almost like a survival rule, an invisible adjustment that makes a huge metropolis livable. But it's not only practical, it's also a cultural value. In Japanese, the word wa means harmony and peace. For a long time, the individual's role has often been to protect the group's harmony. Communication style also matters. In Japanese culture, silence itself can carry meaning. You don't have to fill every gap with words. Sometimes the highest form of respect is not speaking a lot, but simply listening. That's why in Japan, long moments of silence are not always awkward. They can be seen as a sign of maturity. In Japan, silence is more than the absence of sound. It is a quiet language of politeness that says, "I am here, but I don't want to disturb you." On trains, in offices, in temples, and behind the thin walls of homes, the same invisible sentence seems to echo. My freedom ends where your peace begins. Maybe that's why many visitors leave Japan with one scene in mind. Hundreds of people standing together in the same train car, saying nothing, and sharing a rare, gentle moment of calm.